Hey everybody, so here's Vamp, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make sushi rice. So first we're going to start by gathering all the ingredients we need. Number 1. First, I like to start with the Nishiki medium grain rice. This stuff is pretty good, kind of premium grade. So start with that. Number 2, we're going to need some dried kelps or dashi kombu kelp, or whatever you guys want to call it. So this stuff is all dried, and I'm going to use that by soaking it with water. Ingredient number 3, we need some sushi vinegar, or rice vinegar. Okay, so this stuff is Miscan brand. I buy this one because it's not seasoned like the other ones. We're going to prepare the vinegar ourselves. And number 4, sugar. We need some sugar. I'm going to mix that with the vinegar, make the sushi sauce stuff. Alright. So next ingredient, we're going to be needing some salt. That's number 5, salt. So we're going to add a little bit of that to the sugar and the rice vinegar and make our sauce. Okay guys, so we're going to start preparing the stuff we're going to need for the rice vinegar. So we're starting off with 2 tablespoons of sugar, and just 2 of them. You don't want to overdo it on the sugar. Okay, next ingredient is the salt. So as you can see, this isn't a full teaspoon, it's just a half. We're just putting 1/2 of a teaspoon. Okay, so next up is the rice vinegar. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of it to equal 45 milliliters. Okay, so now we're going to get the water for the kombu kelp. We're going to use 400 milliliters of water. I couldn't find my measuring cup, so I'm using my wife's blender bottle, but as you can see, it's 400. And we're going to use that with the dried kombu kelp. Okay, to make the kelp stock, we're just going to rip up the little pieces of the kombu kelp. You're going to stick it into the cup with water and just let it soak. I guess from the original recipe I got, it's recommended that you soak it for at least 1 hour. And that's to let the water, I guess, get all the kombu kelpiness. So now for the main ingredient, the rice. So for the rice, we're going to get 1 full cup and a 1/2 cup. So 1.5 cups of rice. This should be fairly enough for about, I say, 3 to 4 people, depending on how big the rolls are. Alright, so now comes the fun part. This is where we're going to wash the rice. So you're going to kind of like be gentle when you're cleaning the rice, as not to break the grains. Once you get a good rinse off, the water should come out clear. So this is the first rinse, so you can see the water's pretty cloudy. And from here, you just keep rinsing until the water comes out pretty clear. Okay, rinsing it the second time. Rinsing it a third time. By the 4th rinse, you should begin to see the water clearing. And then once you're all finished, it should look something like this. Yeah, this looks pretty good. So I think we're finished with that. So now we're gonna put the rice in the colander, let it dry, and we're gonna set it on the side for about 30 minutes. Phase 1, Now complete.
Hulk hungry now. When sushi be ready?
Relax, Hulk. The rice is almost ready. Speaking of the rice is dry now, so we're gonna put that in a big pot. I use a big pot just because it spreads that out a little bit more. And here's the dashi kombu. It should look kind of greenish, the stock, and you add that to it, and we're ready to put it on the stove. Okay, so when you put it on the stove, I put it on top of another pan, and um, this is because the heat doesn't get to the pot directly. And then we're gonna set it on a medium high heat. So we're gonna leave it here for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna come back to it. Okay, so after about 15 minutes, this is what the rice kind of looks like. As you can see, it's already absorbed most of the water, so it's getting along pretty nice. So now we're gonna cover it up and leave it for another 15 minutes, but this time we're gonna put it on really, really low. Um, yeah, this is very low, as you can see the flame. And that's it. We're gonna leave it for another 15 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, so after those 15 minutes have passed, rice is pretty much ready. So this is what we got here. So now we're just gonna leave the rice here. We're gonna turn off the heat, and we're gonna leave it covered for about 10 minutes. And make sure it stays covered though. So for the meantime, we're gonna make the sushi vinegar dressing stuff. So we get the vinegar and the salt and sugar we set aside, and we're gonna put it in a little saucepan, and we're just gonna put it up on the highest heat and just stir it until it all dissolves. So it shouldn't take more than a couple minutes, and you want to stop it right before it boils, as you can see the bubbles. And once that's ready, then you just set it apart. Okay, so next is going to be the cooling of the rice, and I'm going to use this little electric fan because I don't have a hand fan. You can use a hand fan or whatever you can find, like a book or whatever. I prefer using the electric fan just because it's a little faster. Okay, so now we're gonna cool the rice. You want to use sort of a cutting motion as to not like mash the rice together, because we're not trying to make mochi or anything like that. You want to keep the grains intact. Okay, so once you add the vinegar dressing, you're just gonna keep doing what you were doing and just mix it all together. You can kind of flip the rice around so you can get it all in evenly. And as it begins to cool, that's when it's going to start getting sticky. Okay, so once the rice is cooled, then I'm going to get this little piece of bounty paper towel and get it wet and wring it out so that it stays moist. And we're going to use this to cover the rice so that it doesn't dry out. So now your rice is ready, and you can make whatever you like with it.